What's going on, Badger Nation? Welcome to the PPC Den podcast, the world's first and longest running podcast focused on Amazon advertising, your source for all the tips and strategies you need to make your Amazon PPC more enjoyable and more profitable. Today, I am joined again by the talented Elizabeth Greene from Junglr. And Elizabeth is our guest co-host for this series of episodes. And Elizabeth, I love the episodes that we've done so far. We've done the broad match conspiracy. We've done hidden ratios in your PPC campaign. And today we have another amazing topic to talk about. I love the chance to always talk to other high-level Amazon PPC people. There's not many of us. It's just us, the listeners of the show. Of course, you are a high-level listener out there if you are listening to the show. So, Elizabeth, it is great to have you. I am so thankful, and I know that our audience thanks you for being, this is not a small commitment to spend hours with me in my insane process of crafting podcasts. How's it been so far?
It's been fun. So I'll be honest, anytime I can geek out about Amazon advertising is always a good day.
Yes, that's right. And I think that's why we get along just so darn well. I feel like people that really take PPC seriously, it's just like, we're going to get along. It's going to be wonderful. You know, there's people I talk to who do PPC, but maybe they're not that into it. And it's like, oh, you're not as excited about the spreadsheet thing as I am. Oh, you're like a normal human. I understand. Yes. I'm like some kind of PPC freak. So it's always nice to link up, connect. And so thank you so much again for joining us. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Elizabeth Greene from Junglr.
Stoked to be here.
And how do you spell Junglr? In case people want to Google Elizabeth Greene.
Junglr.
Yes, like any good company, you got to trim the vowels off.
Yes, there you go.
Because
you want to know an inside secret? You know why we chose that?
Tell me.
Because the domain name was available, and it sounded false.
Booyah!
So
yes,
there you go.
Can I tell you a secret?
Sure.
Ad Badger was not my first choice. I really wanted Ad Rabbit. I thought it sounded better, Ad Rabbit. Couldn't get the domain name. And the
like
person was just like not...
But now you can use the growl. Like the growl is everything.
There's the growl. How about that?
Yeah.
So
how can you beat that?
If we did Ad Rabbit?
You have to do one of those like boingy spring hops. But
boing, boing.
Yeah, it wouldn't have the same... it wouldn't have the same punch.
Yes. That's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I've bought a lot of these domains, but I also liked I just liked animals, like Komodo ads. I thought it was a good one. So there's just stick an animal on it is my naming philosophy. But you know what else you can name? Spreadsheet files. Today we're going to be talking about 3 reasons why you are not you, Elizabeth, but you, the listener, and maybe not all the listeners, but 3 reasons why you are still not using bulk sheets and how to get around it. I don't consider myself to be one of these people that do a lot of, pump up type posts. If you follow me on social media or if you follow Ad Badger on social media, I'm not talking about, what my morning routine is to maximize my productivity so that you can have the most epic day ever. Unless you want to hear that, let me know.
Biohacking. There you go.
Yeah. Or how becoming an Amazon PPC person is like the greatest life hack of all time. I'm definitely not a pump up type person, although I do like to motivate. But today I'm going to be pumping you up to use bulk files if you haven't used them before. So today we are going to get our guru on, and we are going to tell people about the fabulous life of using bulk files. Cue my social media where it's just like a picture of me smiling on a sunny day where it's like, wow, at one point in time I didn't use bulk files, but now I do. Do you see posts like that? Like an unrelated image,
yes.
like and then
yes.
inspirational story? That's what I'm gonna do with this post.
Or the ones that are like 5 months ago. Oh, back when I did this.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna be pumping you up about bulk files because we have done bulk files not one time but many times. This is a topic that I know you post a lot about on social media. You have a fantastic LinkedIn, and it's definitely worth following you. And bulk files are really important. And we were trying to come up with a topic about bulk files that we hadn't done before. And because, here on the show, we've talked about how you can do certain things with bulk files just faster, more efficiently. One of our most popular episodes, we talked about, how to optimize thousands of auto campaigns at once. And that was a really popular episode. But there's still people out there that aren't using bulk files. So even if you do use bulk files, this will help boost your confidence with them. And if you haven't used bulk files yet, this will definitely help you raise your comfort level and hopefully motivate you to take the first steps, which we will outline here in this episode. So Elizabeth, we have 3 reasons why people are probably not using bulk sheets still.
Yes.
And the first one is the mental game. PPC is very much as emotional and mental as it is numbers based. So the first reason we really determined was the intimidation factor. These are scary things, Elizabeth.
Yes. Yeah, it is. I'm not going to lie. My first bulk file I downloaded, I opened it up and kind of had a panic attack. It happens to the best of us because you've never seen it before. And it's a heck ton of numbers. Right. There are a lot of numbers and a lot of letters and a lot of rows. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know what's what, it can kind of freak you out. Mm-hmm. And just know that's normal and you'll get through it.
Imagine you had a time machine, knowing what you know now, Bulk Sheet Pro. If you can go back in time to the first time that you opened up a bulk file, what would you say to yourself to not be so overwhelmed?
That you're gonna learn it and you're gonna get it through step by step. Because I still have those thoughts. Like now, what I can do with bulk files, because I've put in the time, and I'm talking years, all day, every day, to learn not just bulk files specifically, but spreadsheets and how to use them. Yeah. And don't think that you need to have that capability to even get started. It can be as simple as clicking into one cell and changing one number, right, to be effective with your advertising. So it doesn't need to be, you don't have to learn it all at once. But by starting, that's how, you kind of launch yourself on that path. And then when I finally realized the capabilities and kind of clicked around and made my first uploads, it was like, oh, you realize how much you can do quickly and efficiently without having to sacrifice quality. Because you can still, if you kind of understand what's in there, you can make very good decisions without having to, worry about clicking down into everything. So it could be, they're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're awesome, but
they are.
You got to get started.
You said that, so you recap that really, really well. Basically, just realizing you don't need to know everything at first. You don't need to completely switch from managing your ads inside Campaign Manager to managing them inside a bulk file. You don't need to make the switch ever, and you definitely don't need to make it overnight. So it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Jump from 0 to 100. You can do this so incrementally. I love what you said right there. You can change one cell at a time. You can you can make the task today, if you've never downloaded a bulk file, to just literally download it and look at it, see what the components are, try to go column by column and see what it's giving you. Even that is a huge accomplishment. And the thing too, you don't need to remember the syntax of everything all at once. You don't need to know every single function that it has, nor do you really need to memorize every function. Here's a secret about bulk files that I do myself, and I think everyone does, is you will download a bulk file. You'll have an idea of something you want to do. I want to go create a new sponsored product campaign. Now I want to go create a new sponsor brand video campaign. Oh, can I add a sponsor brand video campaign? What's the format of that? Before we hit record, you were talking about that, where you try to sometimes test things that you can't do, like they just don't support it. You'll try to just test it to see if they added support without letting us know. So there's this degree of just like tinkering that is something that everyone has, whether you're just starting out or have been doing it for years. There's definitely a degree of just like, hey, if you get it wrong, it's not that bad, and you don't need to memorize everything. You can play around with it, because you just recently discovered, I think you were one of the first people to realize that you could do sponsored brand videos inside a bulk file, and you sort of just discovered that just by playing around with it.
Sponsor brands video used to not be available in bulk files. And then one day, someone in a group, I wasn't the first one to discover they were available, but they popped up. And so my first thought was, okay, I know I can adjust bids, and I know I can create sponsored brand ads through a bulk file. I wonder if I can create a sponsored brand video. So what I did is I copied the format. I just copied and pasted, changed a couple things, because now I know the logic of bulk files, and that logic is pretty consistent across everything. So tried a couple things, changed a couple things, didn't work. I wonder why they didn't work. You'll get an error message. Okay, what does the error message say? Let's go troubleshoot it. I find that fun. Don't think you need to do it. It's not, you can work within what's there. You don't need to worry about discovering new things. People like me or Michael from Ad Badger will discover it for you, and we'll let you know it's possible and how to do it. So if you don't find it fun, don't worry about it. But just know that it's okay if you get an error message. It's okay if something doesn't quite go right. I still have files I upload now that like the date was off, so it didn't go through. And I get my error message, and then I go troubleshoot it. So just because you upload a file and nothing, it doesn't go through or there's an error, that's normal for the best of us. And it's just working through that, reverse engineering. The good thing with spreadsheets is you have a record. You have the file you upload. You can go back to that original file. You can take a look at it. If you get an error message, under that error, it will say download report or something. Amazon now, it used to be they didn't even give you the rows with the error. Now, if you download it, you even get a tab with all of the rows that contained your error and a readout of basically what that error was. And then, all right, go fix it. Try again.
Yeah, exactly. Error handling, troubleshooting, these are par for the course. So it's not, we shouldn't be getting discouraged. We should be excited to discover something new. So if this is you, if you're in this first camp of feeling intimidated, we encourage you to just go and download it and just look at it. And, slowly but surely, just know you don't need to go 0 to 100. You can take it nice and slow, change one thing at a time. Another big issue is the fear, it corresponds to it. What if, okay, so we've been playing around, we're going to go decide to update bids using bulk files. We go and do that. And then I can only imagine like the fear of messing things up. Like what happens if I mess up a decimal point and I make all of my bids $4 instead of 40 cents, or I make them $40 instead of $4? That could be disastrous. How do you like to think about, the fear of messing things up in a very bad way?
The answer to that is keep a backup, which we still do, even though I know bulk files very well, and I'm very confident with what we do. And we still have things that auto spit out things. So there's less human error for what we do, but we still keep records. So what you want to do...
Can you define what you mean when you say keep a backup?
Copy the file. So if you have... the way we do it is we're very consistent with our naming structure. So for instance, when we download a file, we put the account name, the date range, the file, because when you download the file, the naming is just going to say bulk file, a bunch of numbers. It's a good idea to save a record of like what file or what dates are contained within the file, and then as well as the date that you downloaded it. And so what we'll do is we'll name that, and then we'll duplicate the file. So you can just put original XYZ and then have your other file that you make changes, because that original file is like your archive of what your account used to be. So if you upload a file and maybe you don't even remember what you changed and you're like, oh my goodness, everything went to crap, just take the original file and upload it. And then everything's going to be reset to what your original bids were. And you can reverse things.
Yeah, and exactly. And for those that are just getting started with bulk files, like the original file, that simply means, when you go into the bulk operations section, you download the first file. It's just that file. That's your snapshot of what everything was for that time. So if you feel like, hey, you made a mistake or something like that, you just re-upload that and it just reverts back. So you definitely keep a backup. And, in line with the, what if I mess up my campaigns? Take things slow. You don't need to bid optimize all of your keywords across every single campaign all at once. You can pick one ad group and then, just sort of cut those cells out, put those into a new spreadsheet. So now you have this like nice, neat spreadsheet. Maybe it's only got 10 rows for your 10 keywords in this one ad group. You can just change that, play around with it, run a calculation in your spreadsheet, re-upload it, and then go into Amazon's default campaign manager and confirm that it did everything that you wanted to. So you can take things really slow. And this is in line with the intimidation factor.
Yeah. And a little tip on that, if you're piecing things out, one thing with bulk files is they're very particular on the formatting. So you always need to include the header. And that will tell Amazon what is contained within the file. But if you leave that header blank, those cells will not actually be read. So what we actually do internally is what we'll do if we're changing specific bids, we'll copy and paste only what we're changing. We'll take the old bids and we'll put them in a blank column or in a column with a blank header. So Amazon, it completely ignores them. And then we have our new bids. So if I ever want to go into an account and say, okay, what in the world did I do? I can say, well, here's my new bid was $1. My old bid was 50 cents. This is what I raised. Or my old bid was 50 cents. Or my new bid's 50 cents. My old bid was $1. I obviously lowered that one. So you can use things like that to give yourself a really clean idea of what you actually changed. And then naming things very cleanly is going to be a good way to, like, when you really start using this, instead of ending up with a bunch of files, you don't know what's what. For instance, what we do is we'll take that original campaign name. If we're only changing bids, we'll paste that campaign name and name our new spreadsheet, and then just put parentheses new bids. So we know this is referencing this old file. These are our new bids on that old file. So like even with campaign names and ad group names, clean naming structures are good with spreadsheets as well.
Yeah, I like your style. The few seconds it takes you to name it correctly is going to save you so much mental energy. I was just talking with a new customer of ours, and they had really good naming, and I was able to get on the phone with them, and within seconds know my way around the campaign. I was able to give them like really good specific advice. Okay, let's go take a look at your sponsored product targeting. Okay, let's go take a look at your competitor product targeting. Let's go take a look at whatever. It was just so clear. And the same thing applies to your spreadsheet files. So if you have a whole bunch of spreadsheets, you can see the changes when you've made it. You know what's inside. You know what you did when you did it. So it's almost creating a history of changes without having to keep a specific history because you have named all your files properly. And lastly, there's one more reason why I think some people don't use bulk files, which is this concept of being out of touch with your campaigns. So a good example is I was having a conversation with someone that, they have about 1,000 SKUs. And what they were doing was they spent a lot of time inside their campaign manager, inside Amazon. And this was a team of 4 people managing so they were spending a lot of time, probably a little inefficiently, because what they were doing was they were going through and looking at every individual product, every individual keyword, every individual everything inside their account, they would like be taking turns. Okay, I'm going to click into every single one of these every single day. And the idea was that if you do it that way, as opposed to a bulk file, you'll be a lot more intimate. Like you're clicking on it. You have to go through the manual step of clicking down to the campaign, down to the ad group, and then down to the product ads. And then you're very, very intimate with all of your data. And the assumption that they had, which I believe is incorrect, is they would say, if I were to view all of this in a bulk file, I would be out of touch. Like I'm just looking at SKUs and the ASIN as opposed to like I'm actually in it looking at it. And we have some differing thoughts on this. And we actually feel like it makes you more intimate with your campaigns if you're using bulk files. So, I mean, tell me your reaction to this point about like, hey, if I'm inside Campaign Manager, I had to take the manual step to click on things. Whereas if I was in a bulk file, it's just, I'm out of touch with my data. Like it's unfamiliar for me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you that it seems, in my opinion, it is definitely much more, I feel you're much more in touch with what's going on in your account. And the main reason for that.
In a bulk file?
Yes, definitely in a bulk file. I think the main reason for that is the fact that you can condense things. So for instance, if I wanted to see for this particular product, I have my SKU, which is what a bulk file references as a SKU, not an ASIN. But I can go in and I can sort and I can see everywhere that SKU is being advertised. And so if you have like a parent ASIN with a bunch of different products on it, you're trying to remember, okay, well, where did I put this one? Did you split it out by campaign? Maybe some of your campaigns are mixed. If you want to find out if your campaigns are mixed, did I accidentally import this SKU and the blue one instead of the green one? You can go through and you can sort, and then hopefully you have good campaign naming structure and ad group naming structure, but you can see where that product is living inside your ads. Or if I want to see, am I advertising this product? If you don't, again, have a good clean naming structure, or maybe you put it in a catch-all auto somewhere and you completely forgot about it. If you want to just go see, am I advertising this product? Where am I advertising this product? You can do that very quickly. If you want to see, for instance, am I advertising on this particular keyword? Maybe I've identified a new keyword, and to try and find that inside of Campaign Manager, I honestly don't know if you can efficiently do it, because with so many different campaigns, and to be honest, inside a Campaign Manager, it is so easy to click into a campaign and click the back button and then not remember which campaign you clicked into. For instance, if you're doing that, I would highly suggest you use right click, open a new tab, so you can keep track of what you last clicked on, because I'm guilty of that myself. You know, you click back and all of a sudden it's like, great, which one of these have I checked again? I can easily go into a bulk file. I can sort by my targeting column, and I can figure out not only if I'm advertising on the keyword, but where I'm advertising on the keyword, what match types, what bids. I mean, very, very quickly and efficiently versus having to try and click through everything.
Yeah, exactly. So, once you get comfortable with bulk files, it is actually, you actually get more intimate with your account than previous, because, if you think about it, if you have 1,000 SKUs, you're going to have many, many, many campaigns and many, many ad groups. And it's going to be impossible for you to keep that all in your head all at once. You will inevitably forget about certain things. Where did I put that? Where did this go? And by being able to download it and view it all in a spreadsheet, just like you said, you can sift, sort, you can do anything imaginable, because you no longer need to go into a campaign, into an ad group to view the product ads, to view the keywords. Now you can view all of that all at once and then sift, sort, filter any which way to your heart content. And if you need let's say you want other information inside of there, without getting too complicated here, you can have another spreadsheet where you have your SKU, your ASIN, and the product title. So you can like throw that in there too. So you're never like out of the loop in terms of, what was this SKU again? It's like, boom, you've got your list. You can just add it to your spreadsheet.
Yeah. And that's going back, to the power of using spreadsheets in tandem with your ads, because one of the things that makes bulk files so amazing and have so many capabilities is the fact that you're viewing them inside some sort of spreadsheet system. And like I said in the beginning, don't think you need to worry about it right away. Just going in and clicking a single bid and making a couple changes, or even going in, like I said, maybe you want to view if you were advertising on something. Bulk files to me is the most efficient way to figure that out. But once you start understanding the capabilities of spreadsheets, if I have a list of my SKUs, I can quickly figure out with a bulk file which SKUs I'm advertising on and which ones I'm not advertising. Where that would be much trickier to find if you are trying to do it, inside of Campaign Manager.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What about trying to discover if you have a SKU in every kind of ad type? How difficult will that be? Well, actually, if you're doing single product campaigns and then you just searched into Campaign Manager for the ASIN, you'd be able to see what that ASIN is inside of. But if you wanted to do that at scale quickly, like a bulk file is where it's at. So it really does make you more intimate with where things are and how they're behaving, and cross-checking, that you're covering all your bases. It also allows you to really truly use data to optimize things, because when you're inside just a single ad group and you're viewing just one tiny sliver of your overall account, you may be out of touch with maybe how that keyword is performing somewhere else, or how that product is performing somewhere else. And when you are able to view groups of things in tandem from multiple different campaigns, you can do things like, hey, if I have this product in 5 different ad groups, what's the overall performance here? It's like you can quickly get that from a bulk file. So there's lots of ways to actually get more intimate with your campaigns via bulk files.
Yes, for sure. Absolutely.
And I think there's more reasons why people
there's many
might not
more.
be using
Many more.
bulk sheets.
But those are the main ones.
But I think the intimidation factor of just even downloading it, looking at it, figuring out what to do, you can start very small, very tiny. You can start by maybe creating a very tiny campaign, one ad group, one product in it, one keyword in it, really simple. You could do something simple like you want to change one bid in one place, really simple. So just know you don't need to become an expert overnight. You can start nice and slow. What if you mess up your campaigns? Keep that backup. And then finally, will it make you out of touch with your campaigns? We think not. We think actually it'll allow you to see your campaigns from a different angle that you currently do not see it in.
Yeah, one thing I might add, I think we said it, but in case we didn't, unless you upload a spreadsheet to Amazon, if you simply change it in isolation in software on your computer in Google Drive, those changes are not going to be made into your advertising. So if you want to just go and click and copy and paste and just mess around, make a bunch of different tabs, see what's what, that's how you learn, is by just trying. So it's not going to hurt anything at all. If you want, to just mess with it, look at the formatting, try and gather correlations, try and filter, like we were talking about, where am I advertising this? Where am I, try and find that out. Just play around with it.
Yes, we've done it. And you'll become a better Amazon PPC marketer for it, because it will unlock doors that you did not even know were there a lot of times.
Yes,
Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining us again on the PPC Den podcast. Again, Elizabeth Greene from Junglr. Super appreciate having you here. So go, everyone, go download that bulk ops file and let us know what you think. Have a good one. See you next time here in the Badger Den. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is our post-show customers only clip. This is for customers of Ad Badger because there are many of you that do listen to the show. I just wanted to provide some context into how Ad Badger helps with some of these things. So the first thing that I'll say that we talked about that was pretty interesting was the backing up of things. Anytime Ad Badger takes on a managed service customer, I highly recommend anyone who's out there who's managing campaigns for clients or even in your own campaigns to regularly download those backups. It's something that it's like the first thing that we always do to just ensure that even if you have best practice, you can always go back and just sort of hit the reset button. So it's highly, highly recommended that you download these backups regularly, or anytime you are managing a campaign for a client, or you hire someone new to manage your campaigns. It's a no-brainer. It takes up very little effort, and you just have it store it on backup. The other thing I wanted to mention too, which was the third point about the intimacy with your campaigns, where you're able to see things from multiple areas all at once. Inside Campaign Manager, you click on, like Amazon's default Campaign Manager, you click on a campaign, then you click on an ad group, then you view the keywords inside of it. And you can only view the keywords inside that one ad group. I never really liked this. And, part of the whole ethos behind like Ad Badger software is to get you out of spreadsheets. So even though we still use bulk files for certain things, we're trying to basically replace all those features inside of a tool, inside Ad Badger. So one of the things that we've added a view all keywords section. So if you're a customer, in that top section, what we call the super search, where you can just basically jump to anything that you want. If you click the globe, you can get a view. You'll see the view button. You'll see view all portfolios, view all campaigns. Then you can view all ad groups. So you're seeing all the ad groups across your account. Then you can view all keywords. You're viewing all the keywords across your account, regardless of what ad group they're in. So that becomes your new top level view. So you're not just drilling down to view the keywords of just one ad group. You can have one table where you view the keywords of every single campaign. So that allows you to do some of that functionality that you can do in a bulk sheet, except now you can view it inside Ad Badger. And that allows you to make bid changes directly after viewing everything. So if you want to view all of your product ads across your entire account in one place, you can go and use a bulk file for that, but you can also use Ad Badger because we have that feature that says view all product ads. Now, the thing that I want to get to is being able to really simply switch back and forth. So like you can view all of your product ads separately. So, if you have product A in 4 different campaigns, you can view product A in those 4 different campaigns and compare and contrast their performance. But then if you want to switch back and forth and view sort of the aggregate data, so how is this product performing in bulk, like across all of the campaigns, and then break it out to get that drill down of, well, how is it performing in every ad group that it's in? That is going to be like a product reporting dashboard where we are going to have, your product, how much you're spending on it across your entire account, how much revenue it's generating across your entire ad account, and then of course how much total revenue it has. And then if you take total revenue minus your ad revenue, you would get sort of organic revenue as well. So we hope to build something like that in the coming months. We don't have that just yet, but I think that'd be really, really awesome. So this was our quick post-show recap for customers, and hopefully you found this useful if you're a customer, to clue you in terms of how we work, what it is that we're working on. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time here on the Badger Den every Wednesday. Bye-bye.